Welcome to yet another important business coaching segment. I'm your host, Irene. It's been a pleasure to be with you guys. I've received all your wonderful compliments and suggestions. And here we are again this week on our segments as usual. And if you haven't liked or subscribed to the Campus Hub, please do that right now because last week we looked at a very uplifting topic. And again, we are looking at a wonderful topic that will grow your business and your finances. So this week we are looking at a topic that most of you are struggling to deal with. That is, our topic for this week is 7 tips that can change your financial worth in 2023. You're welcome. Join me. Now, saving is hard for everyone and will continue to be hard for most of us. There are so many reasons that deter us from saving as we want, as we should, as we ought to. And some of those reasons are not something that is uncommon. It is very common because we have emergency like healthcare. We are spending on education. We are spending on mortgages. We're spending on so many things that doesn't allow us to save as much as we want to. But in the end, whether we like it or not, a good financial person, financial manager must save money for the future. You need something in your bank account to cater for your finances for the future because the future is tough. We consider the future to be tough, so we have to save for it right now. And these tips I'm going to give you are 7 tips that can grow your financial worth in 2023 without even knowing it, as long as you do it consistently. So our number one saving tip for this week is setting goals. Now, before you save or do anything, you need a goal. You need to set your target. You need to set the purpose for the savings that you're going to do. Usually when you decide to set goals or your target and you're making it your culture, it is important that you set achievable goals. Don't set goals that are beyond your expectations, goals that are unachievable because your income is small, but you're setting goals that probably it is for like a 6-figure earner individual. That wouldn't work for you at all. Usually set goals and target them in relation to your expected earnings. Like if you're a salary earner, this shouldn't be new to you because like every month, you know what you earn. So it is easy for you to set your target. Now, the second thing after setting your target is you need to settle your debts. Now, most times we think we can save without settling our debts. That is impossible. You cannot set money aside. You can't put money aside in your bank account claiming that you're saving when on the other side you have a liability. You have to first settle those liabilities, get rid of them, make sure nobody is demanding you whatsoever, so that at the end of the day, whatever little that you remain with in your bank account, it becomes an asset for you instead of a liability. Now, if you decide to do both at the same time, we can't call that increasing your financial worth because you have unpaid business. You have something unpaid that has to be paid. So you've done nothing at the end of the day. Now, the third thing, now that you're done with settling your debtors, the third thing you need to do is you need to cut on those expenditures. Whether you like it or not, you have to sit down and start to make budget. Whatever doesn't work for you, please try to reduce. There are some things which when a person is saving, it is called sacrificing. Sacrifice certain things. Sacrifice those vacations, those trips, sacrifice those designer handbags that is consuming a lot from your pocket. You can sacrifice the luxurious cars and maybe purchase something that can just work for you, but not like a luxury, so that you're able to save for the future. Now, once you cut on those expenditures, you're going to really reap from your incomes. You're going to see that you're left with much to save, and unless before. Now, once you can do that, you're saving yourself a lot of cash, and you thank me later. The fourth tip that I'm giving you right now is the most important, but we don't think about it because we like going with the trend. But usually, people who go with trend, they always crumble, they always fail because they are not being themselves, they are being someone, other people. They are in other people's shoes. So that fourth tip is you save before spending. In other words, pay yourself before you pay them. Now, in most financial places, they call that self-payment. Pay yourself before you pay others. What does that mean? It means once that money checks into your account, for salary earners that earn money monthly, when we talk about a checking account, we mean that bank account that probably your employer uses to cash in money to pay you. So once your money arrives there, what you do first, debit your saving into another savings account, so that the money which is left in your checking account, that's where you start your expenditures from. Are you seeing the relationship between those two accounts? They are different accounts. They can maybe even be similar, but they're serving what? Different purposes. So at the end of it all, the money in your checking account, you sit down, you budget on it. Make sure nothing else outside that account comes into your way for purchasing. Just use what you can afford, what is left in that account. Don't go borrowing money to make an addition on that money and make a budget which is overwhelming. Stick to that leftover income and make your budget, and you will definitely be fine because you've already saved a percentage of your income for the future. The next one is budgeting. In whatever thing we're going to do, it needs budgeting. Whether you say, I don't care how you budget your thing, you may budget, you may not be budgeting in a way that everybody understands. Whether you budget in your head or you scribble things down in forms of notes, in form of accounting procedures, it is okay. What matters is, can you account for what you're spending? Can you account for your savings? Can you account for your money? Now that is budgeting. But now, for my interest, I am interested in that budgeting where you've removed your savings, then the one left in your checking account. How do you budget that one? Now that is the budgeting which will guide you and make you save more. The leftover money, sit down and make sure that you divide them accordingly to what you need, and avoid budgeting for things which you don't need. Don't go with bandwagon. You see, the most important thing about budgeting, it helps you to eliminate certain things that you can do without at that moment. For instance, if you already have things like shoes, things like clothes, things like handbags, and probably you're just buying a new one. If that specific moment you cannot afford to buy a new bag or shoes, you can postpone the purchase instead of what? Increasing your budget. It is better to postpone the purchase so that you're able not to touch what you have saved. Once you can do that, you're able to stick consistently and increasing your finances every month, every week. It doesn't matter how the time frame you're giving yourself. Now, the overall important bit that I can give you and any person that want to grow their financial worth is you must look for something to do. Now, most of us think that for you to save, you must have a fixed employment somewhere. You must have a boss. No, that's not the case. What matters is, are you earning at the end of the day? Can we see that your finances, your income increases monthly or daily? It doesn't matter where you work. Find time and search for jobs, search for opportunities, create self-employment for yourself, because at the end of the day, you cannot save without earning. Try to earn something, however small, so that you're able to save for your future. Now, if you've listened wisely to the things that I've said, then in 2023, you're going to be an asset owner, not a liability to yourself and to the people around you. If you've loved this segment and you would want to share with your friends, do subscribe and comment and give me feedback on what I can help you with. And if you want like a personal financial advisor and business guide, DM me on all my social media platforms. I'm always glad to hear from you guys because you give me a reason to be here all the time. It's been a wonderful segment. I'm your host, Irene. Until next time, bye.